What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Before we get into today's video, I just want to say, if you're a fan of those legends of the game, then I would definitely recommend subscribing to the channel. Also, guys, if this is content that you enjoy, I would greatly appreciate it if you'd posterize that like button. And in the comments section below, guys, I'd love to hear a legend you'd like to see me do a build on. Past or present, it doesn't matter. And with that being said, let's get right into today's video. So, guys, Wally Szczerbiak, when I think of him, I think of a really good Minnesota Timberwolves team that often get overlooked with him and Garnett. Szczerbiak was a really good shooter, right? I mean, he was just he was a good shooter. He was a decent finisher at the rim too, but he was a really good shooter. He's a player that I feel like if he played in today's NBA game, he would do really, really well with the way that they shoot threes now. He would be a very good player because he did have that ability to shoot. Wrong place, wrong time, essentially. But yeah, he's a really good shooter, guys. And let's get right into this build. So, guys, I mean, like I said, he's a really good shooter. He's decent inside at finishing right around the basket, but his bread and butter was his shooting. I would definitely recommend this route right here. Now, for your pie chart, guys, it really doesn't matter. I would go with speed simply because you do get that negative effect from shooting, doing a shooting build for whatever reason. Now, you could do this build at the power forward as well. That's actually similar to the Rodney Rogers build I did previously. I would definitely recommend doing this build at that position, simply because, you're gonna be slow. You're not gonna really have a whole lot of speed, and you're not gonna be the greatest perimeter defender with this build. So I would definitely recommend, power forward, but if you choose to go with the small forward, that's fine too. Now you could go this route, guys. It's pretty good. I mean, this way plays really, really nice. But here's the thing, I would just, if it were me, I would just go ahead and I would just back this down to, I think, right here, I believe. And then and that way we get 30 shooting badges. Now, it wasn't really a part of his game, the post fade, I wouldn't say. I'm just saying, you could go this route to get those 30 shooting badges because you're building a shooting build. So you want as many of those shooting badges as possible. So that's one thing I would say. Now, but to stay true to the aspect, of this, I would just go ahead and do this. And I would put this here. I mean, he wasn't a great shot blocker, but at 61, you're not going to be a huge shot blocker anyway. But I would say that, I would play this build at the power forward position, even though he mainly played small forward. Build, it doesn't matter. 6'7", 244. I would leave the wingspan the way that it is, guys, because you are doing a shooting build. In fact, if you wanted to do this, it would make it even better. I just would not recommend doing that because, like I said, he was able to shoot around and finish around the basket, so you don't want to take away from that. But, guys, you're going to be lethal, and I mean lethal with this build. I mean, you're going to be able to hit anything that you put up if you're remotely open. I mean, it really depends on you guys. If you're playing with the ball in your hand a lot, I would do shot creator, but spot up shooters are a really, really good way to go. And you have built a sharpshooter with shades of, I do like that Peja, shades of. Peja was one of my favorite players. In fact, that may be a build that I do because that Kings team with him and Weber, oh man, they were one of my favorite teams. Weber, Peja, Divac, Bibby. Yeah, that was a real nice team, guys. I really like that team. One of my favorites. I'm still very upset that they didn't win that championship that year because I really think they should have. But that's neither here nor there. That's not really something I like to get into on this channel. But I'm going to start an actual NBA channel to where I talk about NBA things, players, and that may be something that I get into there. It's going to be more like it's not going to be something to where I bash players, because I don't necessarily believe in bashing players. I've been called a hater several times. And a lot of the times, guys, I'll just be honest with you, it's mostly by LeBron fans, because I don't feel LeBron's the greatest. But, I'm not saying that he's not great. I just don't feel that he's the greatest, out of the basketball players that I've seen, That's not taking anything away from LeBron James, but LeBron fans, a lot of them, they see that as, you're sliding him. So I don't know. It's one of those things that when I do start the NBA channel, I'm going to let everybody know. I've got this new mic and everything, and I really think my audio is much better. So I'm going to start doing that now. And, it's going to be fun, guys. It's going to be good times. Haven't came up with the name yet. So I don't really know what that's going to be. I thought initially maybe doing Beyond the Builds, where I started doing, these build channels and I talk a little bit about the players. But I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be the way that I go or not. We'll see. Because then if someone new comes in and they're watching my videos, they're going to be like, what do you mean beyond what build? And then I'm going to have to go in and explain, this whole thing. So I don't know, guys. It's one of those things. It's a work in progress. But for the finishing badge, I'm just all over the place. I just did Slithery Finisher on bronze. For the shooting badges, guys, you're going to go Hot Zone Hunter. You're going to go Limitless Spot Up. Those two, always. I feel like, these other ones, guys, it really depends on you. I feel like Clutch Shooter is going to be a big one on this build. I feel like Blinders will be a good one. Deadeye will be a good one. Catch and Shoot will be a good one. And then for these last three, guys, the way that I would do this is I would do Difficult Shots. You could do Circus Threes and Corner Specialist. But if there's another badge that you would rather have, go for it. Like I said, these are more or less just suggestions. For the 6 finishing, guys, look, glue hands on a shooter is a must. That is the one thing that I would say, if you're going to do this as a shooting build, you want glue hands, because it is a very important badge for a shooter. And the other one would be Bullet Passer, or whatever one you choose to do. But glue hands, I would definitely say, is a must for this build, because if you look at it, it improves your ability to catch difficult passes and quickly put the ball on the floor. But I also think that it doesn't necessarily say it, but with playing with this specific badge, guys, I'm telling you, I think it helps you. Like if there's a bad pass and you catch it and then you pull up with it, I think that it gives you a bonus to that as well. It doesn't say it, but it feels like, it does. I could be wrong, but it feels like it does. Now, if you do play this build at small forward, guys, I would say clamps for sure. Either on bronze or gold, you want one of the two. And then Intimidator is another good one to have. But like I said, guys, I would definitely use, the glue hands. I feel like that's a must on this build, or any shooter build for that matter. It's good on any build, but for a shooter build, I really feel like it improves your ability. Because if if it's a bad pass, it improves your likelihood of making it. Even if it doesn't say that, it feels like it does when I play with it. So I think that it does. But with that being said, guys, I really feel like this was a good Wally Szczerbiak build. And, guys, if you've never seen him play, like I say about all these guys, go check out some of his highlights, because they're out there. He was, I think, a one-time All-Star, maybe 2. Maybe I'm missing a season, but I know for sure he was in at least one All-Star game. But he was a really good shooter, guys. And like I said, if he had played in today's game, he would be really, really good. He would fit right in, just like Peja would. It's just, he was a solid shooter. And if you've never seen him play, just check out his highlights, guys. But if you enjoyed the video, I would greatly appreciate it if you'd posterize that like button. This is content that you enjoy. I would recommend subscribing to the channel. And also, guys, in the comments below, I would love to hear a legend you'd like to see me do a build on. And there will be more info coming on that NBA channel that I plan on doing. It's going to be off the cuff, guys. There's not going to be a script. It's going to be very much like this. Because I don't want to do by the script, right? I don't want it. I want it to feel natural. I don't want it to feel like, I'm reading off of a sheet of paper to you. And I want to debate too. It's not that I just want to do this. I want, like if people comment on my videos, like, hey man, this, I want to debate with you. I'll go back and forth with you. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's one of the only reasons why I have Facebook is because I'm in these NBA groups, man. And I love debating. And it's more or less when people hate on other great players, right? Because we hear it all the time. Jordan played in an era of plumbers. That's just not true. People talk about Jordan played during the expansion era. While yes, that is true, but how fast did teams like Charlotte and Orlando and Miami get good really, really quick, right? It wasn't like they took years to get, or decades to get good. They were good really, really fast. Because you had, Charlotte, they had Zoe and LJ or Grandmama, whatever you want to call them. Miami, they had Rice and Smith. Orlando, Penny, Shaq, D3, and Nick Anderson. I mean, solid teams, guys, all the way around. So it's not like they were horrible in the 90s and mid 90s. These were really good teams. But yeah, that's just kind of what you can expect with that other channel. I don't want to push it on you guys too much because this is just a 2K build channel. But with that being said, guys, have a wonderful day, night, evening, wherever you are. Have a good one.